All right, fastest 15 minutes on the internet, fastest 15 minutes in social media. Kind of changed the direction of which way I'm going to go because I've been getting a lot of feedback on my last couple of posts. And as usual, it's pretty polarizing. You got some people that are like, oh, you're crazy, telling me I should, I don't know. I don't know what to do. By the way, I actually have had a psychiatric evaluation several times. But anyway, nah. But anyway, so here's the deal. All right, and then I got a bunch of people, I've been called all kinds of stuff these last couple of days, too woke, all this kind of stuff. And then somebody came at me like this, talking about, well, why would you do that about Kobe Bryant, considering he's a father and a husband and all that kind of stuff? I was like, well, when those rape allegations came out, he was a father and a husband. When he was cheating on his wife, he was a father and a husband. I'm just trying to say, I'm not trying to say anything bad about the man, but look, I'm just trying to get truth out here. I'm just trying to get facts out here, and I'm just trying to let y'all know. And the things that have come up, like for example, there is a ongoing lawsuit, or there was, I guess. I don't know if it's still going to go on because, of course, now Kobe is deceased. So, and here's the thing, and I guess this is what I found out. Because I was like, man, I got to figure out, why all of this. And then Dr. Umar Johnson, which I shouted out, I know everybody, once again, everybody was talking about how they hated him and stuff like that. But what he said was the truth. Okay, don't shoot the messenger, especially when the message is good. Y'all want to kill off everybody that's trying to tell y'all factual and truthful information. And that's all I'm trying to say. Okay, so now, in this whole entire thing, the issue is the name Black Mamba, okay? And so I had somebody come at me and say, well, they would never name any medicine or anything after Black Mamba. And I said, well, look, white folks said that 666 was the mark of the beast, but they named medicine after 666, didn't they? All right, so all these things are not dispositive or, prove anything, basically. But here's the thing. If you remember when Kobe was still playing and he got hurt a couple of times, and when he got hurt, he flew overseas and had some special treatments, okay? They never really disclosed what the treatments were, but all we know is that it was to help him heal faster, and whatever these treatments were and whatever this medicine was, it was illegal in the United States of America, all right? So the common belief is that the pharmaceutical companies and he were fighting over this particular, I guess I don't know if it's a medicine because I couldn't get to the entire bottom of it, but I'm still trying. But there was a medicine that he was using in order to help heal him faster when he was playing. All right. And I guess that it was not an illegal substance according to the National Basketball Association. So it was a legal substance, and he was using it in order to try to make him heal faster. All right. So and also other players were asking him about it, who especially players that were older later on in their careers. Well, can you tell me what this drug is? All right. So that appears to be the origin of where everything came from. So then my other thing is everybody else was like, okay, well, a pharmaceutical company not going to kill somebody. I was like, look, let me explain something to you. And then I had somebody, and I meant to write it down, but I can't remember. But there was somebody that came on one of the posts and said, well, there is like instances where they have had people jailed, locked up, and even killed. And so then I started thinking, and I was like, well, let me go deeper on this because I want to know what's going on. And so what I found out, okay, first of all, or not even what I found out, but what I had in general knowledge. Okay, so the first thing was in general knowledge, number one was what? Lisa Left Eye Lopez. All right. Her Illuminati ritual sacrifice was because she was about to do what? Expose Dr. Sebi. All right, and expose, certain things. And if you remember, if you remember, they never said this. They never came out and actually, it was never actually reported as such. But if y'all remember, when Coretta Scott King, Martin Luther King Jr.'s wife, was sick, they took her to a clinic. They didn't say that it was Dr. Sebi, but I believe, and many others believe, that it was Dr. Sebi who encouraged this trip. All right, so now, you know, and once again, I don't have any proof, okay, because I know everybody was, and you don't have any proof in it. Well, look, okay, who else was healing folks of cancer and diabetes and AIDS and everything else? It was Dr. Sebi. All right, so now, so Lisa, and look, these videos are available. So don't sit up there and look, do your own research. Don't constantly be asking me about all this stuff, because I'm just telling you, the videos are out there. You can see the videos of Lisa Lopez, Left Eye from TLC, you know, talking about how, you know, how she was experiencing a change in her life and how all of this natural healing and all of these things started happening in her life and everything. The videos are out there. I've seen them, and in fact, and it was somebody, one of my friends, that pointed them out to me. Okay, so now, and all of the Illuminati style rituals took place, and then what happened? She died in a plane crash. I'm not making this up. This is true. These, you know, so once again, all y'all people, all y'all naysayers and, you know, oh, y'all too woke. Y'all conspiracy theorists are all too woke. No, we're not. Okay, so now, fast forward. Who is the next person that took up the mantle of Dr. Sebi? Nippsy Hussle. And let me explain something to y'all, because, and I've already posted about this, how all of a sudden Nippsy Hussle just became like a cult hero. But when he was alive, and I still, in fact, I asked somebody today, I asked some young guys, I had a bunch of young guys hanging out with me today, and I asked them, I said, can you name me 4 Nippsy Hussle records? Or did you know about 4 Nippsy Hussle records before he passed away? Each one of them, to a man, said no. Because, and I remember, and the funny thing is, I remember watching Dr. Claude Anderson, you know, shout out to Dr. Anderson. I remember watching Dr. Claude Anderson, and somebody asked him, well, tell us about the economic legacy of Nippsy Hussle. And you know what he said? He said, I don't even know who that is. That was the first thing out of his mouth. I don't even know who that is. And I knew of him because I had people that I knew that had contact with him, but that's the only reason why I knew him. But in fact, right now to this day, I can only name one Nippsy Hussle song. In fact, I can't really even name that. Okay, but all of a sudden, what did he have? He had his picture on a basketball court. They named a street after him, a neighborhood after him. You know, everybody in the hip hop community came around. They bought everything that was in the store there. You know, the marathon store. I mean, and it was just like, it was unreal. And the pour out of mourning. This man who nobody really knew, all of a sudden he was in the state. He was being buried. What was it, the Staples Center or the Forum? One of those. He had one of the largest funerals, you know, in the history of LA. All of a sudden, right? Think, okay? You didn't know who this was. And then I try to tell y'all about how people can, you know, how they control the news cycles and they control everything. Everything is a control factor. Because what? They wanted you to follow this guy, right? That follow his economic plan. But guess what? His economic plan was never spelled out. Just like you want to know, and you want to know who that is reminiscent of? I mentioned him earlier, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. was assassinated before he could reveal his economic plan for the race. Reparations, all of that stuff. Dr. King was about to address that before he was assassinated. All right? So think. Come on, y'all. Think. Use your head. Use your head. Stop just being led by like a sheep to the slaughter. That's why I say, look, y'all, words are powerful. That's why that's in it. Why do you think that's in the Bible? We're killed all the day long like sheep to the slaughter. And you confess that? You confess that with your mouth. Church folk, Bible thumpers. Okay? So now all of a sudden, and then now the torch has been passed. So I'm worried for Nick Cannon. You know, they done passed the torch. They done passed the torch to Nick Cannon. Nick, I love you, man. I love you, dude. You are my dude, right? But I'm telling you right now, you know, because what he said that he would continue making the documentary that Nipsey Hussle had started. Now, let me explain to y'all. So always, every time when I was in law school, what they always say, if you want to know who's doing what, follow the white man with the money. All right? Look, y'all, these pharmaceutical companies, whatever it was that Kobe was using or whatever, I don't know, somebody might know. If you know, inbox me or whatever and let me know what it was. But up until now, I don't know what it is. But whatever it was that he was using, the pharmaceutical companies wanted it. All right. And I think, and I also still, and I've tried to tell y'all, you know, all that stuff, everybody tried to play off the fact that Kobe was throwing up Illuminati signs and all that kind of stuff, you know, and unless you in the gang, you don't throw, you know, gang, if you're not in the gang, you don't throw up gang signs. Even, look, I'm a Q, even my frat brothers, I ask every Q, look, if somebody walk up to you and throw the hooks up and they not a bruh, what do? Okay? I'm just trying to be real with it, all right? I'm trying to keep it 100, all right? And so he was an Illuminati warlock. Everybody's mad at me for saying that, but I'm just trying to tell you, and he was under the monarch indoctrination, which is the same thing that all the kids on the Disney Channel and Nickelodeon and all that kind of stuff, that's what they go through. It's called monarch programming. They get them from a very young age. And you have to remember, when Kobe became famous, he was in high school. That's why, and LeBron James, he flashes those signs. The same thing with Shaq. All of these people, they were predestined to be stars. They were prodigies. And I try to tell people that you don't realize, you know, even these people, why do you think, and half of the time, you know, it's their parents that turned them over to be programmed into this monarch programming. And you can look this stuff up. This is not stuff that, you know, I'm not crazy. This is stuff that you can look up. And these rituals are ceremonial rituals that have been practiced for years. Like I told this one girl, y'all don't realize picnics, having a picnic, pick a nigga, right? Picnics are a ritual. They go there, they eat, they kill a black man, cut his genitalia off and stick it in his mouth. That was the ritual. Come on, y'all. Realize what's going on. You know, that's why I'm trying to wake y'all up. And see, we need a whole bunch of voices. We don't just need one voice. And so that's why, you know, when we see things like this, we understand what these rituals are and what they mean. You know, it's in order to make us, just like whipping. You know, when they would whip somebody on the plantation, what would they do? They wouldn't just go to the back and whip him. They would tie him up in front of everybody and whip him in front of everybody so that he would know better. That's what and that's why we talked about that with Bill Cosby. That's why we talk about that with R. Kelly. That's why we, you know, no matter what they did, you know, no matter what their transgression was, the punishment does not fit the crime, especially when Master is the one that's perpetrating more crimes than the slave. So don't get the game twisted. And when it comes down to whatever's going on with this, you know, medical industrial complex, the pharmaceutical industrial complex, whatever it is, it's worth a lot of money. And somebody wanted to get him out of the way. And that's my own personal belief. That's the way I feel about it. You know, and I know everybody doesn't believe that, but that's the way to me, that's the way it looks. Anyway, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and most of all, hit the love button. I love you all.